When I first became a flight attendant, it felt like the world was at my fingertips. But the truth was, the world was only as close as the airline industry was to having a hard day, and me getting assigned a trip as a result. A workout in LA was only as close as a flight attendant with more seniority than me was to getting sick, calling out, and me filling in. A night out on Broadway in Nashville was only as close as a trip not having crew and me being next on the list. Many times the world was Fort Lauderdale. Sometimes the world was just my childhood bedroom. And other times the world was the airport, sitting there just in case I was needed. The world was never Austin, but thankfully I could use my benefits to see friends there on my off days. The reality was, when I was on, I never knew where I was going or who I'd be flying with, or how many flights I'd be doing until the moment of. The world was at my fingertips, but only really if my phone were ringing because, well, I was on reserve. And for the first time since I got off reserve nearly 2 years ago, somehow, here I am again. I transferred to Los Angeles. I am officially LA's newest flight attendant. Show y'all what it's like being on reserve, because I am on reserve. Reserve is not something that someone like me would want. There are many people who, the more senior they get, they kind of want to try out reserve, fly a little bit less. You could also fly a lot. Reserve is really like a box of chocolates. When I first saw that I was on reserve, I wanted to cry. A lot less control. It's a little scary. I could get assigned to go anywhere. Yesterday I was on home reserve, which means my airline says, okay, you can stay home. We might call you, but in the event that we don't call you, you spent the whole day at home and you basically got paid for it, so lucky you. It is a 12-hour shift though, so it's a long time that you are sitting there wondering if they might call you. You can leave the house, but if you go too far and you can't get back in time to then get your stuff and get to the airport, then that could be a problem because you only have 2 hours and 45 minutes from the second that they call you. Today they said, okay, we're going to take you off home reserve on airport standby tonight from 7:30 at night to 1:30 in the morning. So I woke up today at a normal time, like 8, 9 or something. I'm gonna stay up all night potentially. If they call me for a flight, a lot of the flights leaving LA are 5 hours at night. Go to the airport in uniform, I sit there, and if someone doesn't show up to work, maybe they just were running late, and it'd be better to have me board the flight up and then they come in and I walk away, right? Maybe that's best, right? So there are a lot of different scenarios where an airport standby could be really, really helpful. I am that last resort. The good point with that is that you are at the airport, so the flight's not gonna take a delay waiting for somebody to get there. I really am hoping someone calls out of Fort Lauderdale. I'm hoping somebody calls out, because my friends are in Fort Lauderdale and I would love to see them. I have to pack for warm, for cold. I'm grateful because I feel like it's giving me an opportunity to slow down as I transfer into LA, work flights that maybe I wouldn't work. The cool thing is that while I'm sitting on reserve, I can edit videos, I can do basically anything. So I'm really excited to take you all on my very first Los Angeles trip. We will see, this is my first week as an LA flight attendant. We will see how it goes. Which is always like a thing because you never expect it to rain here, and it's raining. Good thing I have this hoodie, but I am wearing shorts. Like an hour and maybe 20 minutes before I have to get on the bus. I'm gonna be taking 4 buses to get to LAX, and I still haven't packed. While I was in the coffee shop, I was basically just prepping for social media content, trying to plan for like a full week. It's so pretty. There are 2 trips on the board right now, one going to Miami, another going to Orlando. And so I think I'm going to Florida tonight. Okay, so it's getting real. My airline, while I was packing, just called me and said that right now I'm working Orlando, which is a much later flight. It leaves at 10 p.m., but I still need to be leaves at 11 p.m., I think, but I still need to be at the airport at 7:30, so I really gotta go. Here's what I packed for food. I have this little fruit bowl, lettuce. I don't wanna pull the whole thing apart, but I have some lettuce, and then I also have some food from Trader Joe's in there, chicken nuggets that are Impossible Chicken. And then I also got, these are my favorite like snacks in the hotel. It's funny, in a video I posted about what I spend in a week, people were like, oh, there are some people that are just saying I spend a lot of money, and it depends on the layover. So if I'm laying over with friends, or if I'm experiencing a layover that is a dream to me, but Orlando, for example, I'm not going out, I'm not going to be spending money, I will likely be eating Wagyu beef strips. Like, literally, there are nights where I'm starving in my hotel and I just know it doesn't make sense to Uber Eats, or it doesn't make sense to spend money because I don't care that much about that city. There are nights where I'm just eating beef jerky or something, and then there are nights where I go out and I splurge. There are also nights where I pack really well with food so I don't have to do too much shopping and stuff. I also have two poppies in here. They're just prebiotic sodas. I really like Olipop, but I really enjoyed the orange poppy that I had in San Francisco recently, so I'm gonna try these flavors from them, strawberry, lemon, and grape. I also have this little Oh Snap apple bites. I usually just keep these in my bag because you never know when you'll be stranded and hungry in this job. The weather in Orlando, let's see. I'm gonna go up to 64 tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies, a little bit of sun, so I'm still gonna pack some layers. I'm gonna get there at 6 a.m. and we don't leave until the following day, so it's like a long layover. So I probably will have to buy something there. We're living in base again. I get to go to the airport in uniform, so all I have to pack in here is just my clothes. It's gonna make packing so much easier. I'm bringing way more underwear than I need because I'm scared because of commuting. I would have to pack so many things. It just sucks because I'm running around and racing, and I'm gonna be like 3 hours early if nothing goes down. Now I just have to get all the way to LAX. Let's go, this is my first day. I honestly can't believe that I used to fly after this. I'm getting ready to get on my 4th bus. So tired. Oh my God. Waiting for the plane. I'm so nervous. It's like my first day or something. Landed, took a shower, worked my very first flight as a Los Angeles-based flight attendant, and I am so hungry. I did eat on the way over here, so I don't know why I am literally like ready to shove pancakes down my throat, but I am. I'm so tired. I got Frosted Flakes, fruit bowl. The ladies downstairs are the sweetest. Basically, because it's half off, I also got an apple, so I paid $16. It's so good. Now the next day, and I still haven't slept. That said, I am so excited to be LA-based. The customers are so fun, and they're so sweet. There's like a pastry, there's a waffle, there's an omelet in there, there's some grits on the side. If we have a delay or something, I'm always like, thank you so much for bearing with us today when I give them their drink. They were so responsive to it. They're like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And I'm like, oh, because I feel like sometimes people are like, whatever, I don't have a choice. I will say the weird thing about being LA-based is that, for example, when I was New York-based, if I worked a flight that was 5-6 hours, I ended up on the West Coast. So I gained time. So by the time I got there, I'd go to bed, wake up, new day. Here, left late at night on the West Coast, And now by the time I got here, it's the next morning. And because I had the whole day there, I don't really want to keep going and pushing myself to continue through another day to then sleep tonight to work the flight in the morning. Right now, after I eat this, I'm going to bed. Day sleeping to me is not real sleep. It's going to be interesting to see how I deal with these trips because many of them are going to be like this. I've ridden the public transit in Orlando. I've been to the cool coffee shop. It's a gloomy day. Orlando's not the most accessible place to get around. I'm gonna finish this food, go to bed. I slept in, it's like 4 p.m. So I slept for like 6-7 hours, which is nice, you know? But now the day's over. Sunset is gonna be like in an hour. And so it's kind of like I slept the whole day. Such a tough life, you know? And I have to sit here by the pool. I mean, gosh, work is so tough. How is this real? It's so pretty out here. I didn't need my hat. I came out here without my hat and I was like, oh no. It is, you need your hat. It's cold. I don't know that it could be better than this. This is incredible. For my first LA trip, I am very blessed. Especially this, I got this on reserve, y'all. Like, I didn't choose this. This is like the worst trips that nobody wants to do because it's reserved. 2:20 in the morning. Craziness of this life sometimes. This month I'm doing no caffeine. It just was really hard for me. I was incredibly tired all day. Florida is actually kind of cold right now, as LA is as well. The reason I think I had so much energy yesterday is because I went on that 4-mile run. I do love running. I think I love working out in general. I love the energy it gives me, and I think that the reason sometimes you don't have energy is because you rely, this isn't talking about myself here, but if you're relying so much on caffeine, you're relying so much on all these pick-me-ups to get you through your day, I think that a body in motion stays in motion, right? If we are all energy, it's literally science that it's the same thing with momentum in your day. If you're super productive at the start of your day, it's just gonna snowball and snowball. But you're gonna wanna do more productive things, you're gonna wanna keep going and be more creative and do more. But if you start your day with dread, that it's very easy for that to snowball as well. This year, especially if you're trying to bring new things into your life, I want to make a video on manifesting. Let me know in the comments if you would be interested in that. I've manifested a lot in my life and I'd love to share how. But including you all being here, honestly, is a manifestation, for real. Every time you write a comment, every time you give me a like, every time you spend your time watching my videos, you are helping my manifestations come true. And so I do want to pay it forward. I'm just gonna pick up a weight and start lifting. 10-minute workout, so it's technically only like 20 minutes of working out, but I feel it. Go upstairs, shower, get ready to work this flight back to Los Angeles. Literally 2 hours. Being based at home is worth it. It's so nice. Like, you have no idea. Right now I'd be in New York waiting for a flight for maybe an hour, 2 hours. Then I would be taking a flight for 5 hours, sometimes connecting through Vegas, connecting through Denver, connecting through Dallas. And now I just get to literally be home. It's like the plane takes me home. It is a dream. brand new day here. I'm on my roof. I did not get called yet. I have about, 2 hours? This whole day I spent in bed. And I'm so mad at myself. Because first off, I live in beautiful Los Angeles. It is literally insanely gorgeous today. 60 degrees. And I spent the whole morning in bed. It's the afternoon already. Also, yesterday I took a nap after I went out because I was so tired. And I know that I was talking about how working out can make your energy continue, but clearly once I got here and went outside, I got a pumpkin loaf and then I got food and I was just like hungry and tired. And something about going west, living out west and going east and getting into east when you're supposed to be waking up, when you haven't went to bed all day on the West Coast, it just ruins everything for me because this is not the first time I've done a trip like this. These are LA trips, so I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do to ensure that I do not just sleep the day away all the time and that my recovery period from these kinds of trips is less, because it really takes a toll. Being a flight attendant, your body is just exhausted from flying. Anyone knows that flying is exhausting, but I think the more you do it, like we do it so much, and we also are working the flights. It's not like we're just sitting there sleeping. That flight was like 5 in the morning, like 6 in the morning, like, and then by the time we got here, it was like 10, so I had the whole day here, but I was too tired to enjoy it. I'm gonna be reading my little book of healing that I got on my layover in Tampa, and I'm going to be eating my little sandwiches from Community Goods. That's where I went this morning. Community Goods was packed. I haven't been there on a weekend morning in a minute, and it was packed to the brim. I do feel like I am a sensitive person. There's this piece of this book called Stepping Into Your Own Power. And it's this poem. It says, "Your sensitivity is not a sign of weakness. Your sensitivity makes you beautiful. It makes you unique. You see, we live in a world where it's easier to pretend that you don't feel. And if you dare express that you feel, you become an easy target to be picked on and hurt. So from a young age, you're taught that strength means hiding how you feel or not expressing your feelings at all. I want you to ask yourself, if you don't feel, how can you truly love? If you don't feel, how can you empathize with the tragedies happening in the world? If you are sensitive to being disrespected, it means that you will not disrespect others because you know how it feels to be disrespected. If you are sensitive to being ignored or lied to, it means that you will not ignore or lie to others because you know how it feels to be ignored or lied to. Promise yourself from today to be at peace with your sensitivity instead of trying to hide it. Cherish it. Gosh, that's deep. That's like the deepest thing I've read in a minute, y'all. Gosh, I love that. Because I feel so sensitive sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't be this sensitive. And it's like, no, be sensitive. Because it's going to change the way you interact with people for the better, probably. This is why I talked about in my What I Spend in a Week video that you have to have other things that you do, especially when you start being a flight attendant, because you don't have to. But if you were paying your own rent, just, you got a lot going on and a lot of expenses, you need to have other streams of income. And I think this is important for everyone in the entire world because it just allows you to love the things that you do, to love all that you do, and to not have any, maybe not have any, but to not have as much pressure. A lot of times people are focused on that. On one income stream, and it makes life a little bit more challenging. But if you open up the possibilities, open up your beliefs to believe that money can come from anywhere, I think it changes things. Just got back from a 5-mile run. Sunset here in LA tonight was absolutely stunning. I'm just grateful I got that in because tomorrow I'm on call again. Only one day, which means if I fly out, I have to be back that same night. I'm living my life as normal tomorrow. I'm gonna try to wake up early, go to a coffee shop. I really don't think they're gonna call me, so. It's 2:55 a.m. I really thought I was in the clear today. That I wasn't gonna get called. I just got called. Oh my gosh. I'm so upset because I'm so tired. The report time is 5:35 in the morning. I'm going to Utah and right back. Ubering just because, would you take the bus? I mean, I'm not gonna get there in time if I take the bus anyway, but I literally just, no. And I'm bringing everything just because I feel like you just never know what can happen. Most people would not bring all this stuff for a turn, but I also haven't set up like my setup for a turn yet. Like, I feel like many people do turns a lot. I never do them, so I don't really know what you should bring. Like, what's enough to bring so that if you got stuck, you'd be okay. This is my life. I miss turns so much. I'm gonna be home before 1 p.m. and I have to come to Utah in a second. Yesterday, I ended my 6-day reserve block. And when I got back yesterday from that Salt Lake turn, my body was so exhausted because really, I stayed up late with my roommates. That was totally on me, thinking that they weren't gonna call me, for them to call me at basically 3 a.m. And the sleep was hitting. There were some people also making a lot of noise. I think there might have been a fight or something going on in my building because there was so much noise in the 30 minutes I was trying to give myself just to close my eyes after I got the call. There was a motorcycle revving. My other roommate heard it. He woke up. I basically worked a trip the other day where I had a reserve and I was like, oh, I know what it's like to be on reserve. I feel like now that I've experienced it again, I feel like I do know just how hard it is to be on reserve and just how much those crew members need to be supported. You're thinking you're gonna get called, you're panicked, you're staying up, you're waking up. A little turn would never make me exhausted like that. Such a simple flight. Customers are fun, it's West Coast, everybody's just chill, for the most part. You're only guaranteed as a reserve 75 hours at my airline. I think every airline probably has its reserves, what you are guaranteed to make whether you fly or not. Being that I had a line for so long, I always fly 100-hour months. I would like to make the amount of money that I'm used to making. You just have to pick up on your off days and you're already exhausted. Even though you may not get called on reserve, I personally was just exhausted from worrying if I was gonna get called. And I think this is something that may get better with time, but I spoke with a friend and she was like, this was me, Malik, for 3 years when I was on reserve. For years. There are tons of flight attendants that are on reserves at many airlines for years. It's based on what your airline needs, and that's what you guarantee yourself to do when you become a flight attendant, that you're gonna help your airline out, whatever they need, you're gonna be there for. Trying to also use this off time to be productive in my other things that I do, in journalism and in social media and content creation, and in getting to know more of LA. I just was ending the video and I just found out I got a line, oh my God. A line is what we flight attendants call a schedule. Your calendar is filled with lines, showing you the different trips you were awarded, which means you know where you're going. A line. Okay, I didn't get the trip that I wanted, I can tell already. Who you're flying with. First trip for next month right now is Newark, 24 hours there. I also have another Newark. And how many times you'll take off into the skies for the whole month. All right, third trip. Newark. The cool thing is, I can play with this now. Having a line and paying for alerts when trips with my dream layovers drop is how I ended up visiting cities like Phoenix that I had never been to. Setting dates on upcoming layovers to reunite with family and friends across the country. I even met an internet friend in person for the first time. John Carter is showing me around his community that has been inundated with water from and using my journalism skills to bring light to victims of Hurricane Ian in Central Florida, all in my first year in the role. I wasn't always awarded these trips, but having a line gave me the flexibility to drop a trip I didn't want to fly, swap into a trip I liked more, or even pick up an entirely new trip. Thankfully, this is my love, my heart, San Francisco. I miss San Francisco layovers with my whole heart, and I'm finally getting to go back next month. Ooh, we get there in the afternoon, that's fun. I've never done that before. And then I have another San Francisco. There was a trip that I really wanted, and I didn't even get that. Oh no, I did get it, okay. I did. So that's my schedule. I have a schedule next month. What a cool way to end the video. I'm going to have newfound love and respect for those crew members that are on reserve and just support them in any way I can because I now know what it's like, and you do too.